I'm Will Cedric.
I'm Gabe.
And this is Inside the Bot. Oh, hi Gabe.
How's it going?
Oh, it's going okay, yeah.
I think we slept in again.
Did we?
Yeah, we did. Anyway, get up, wake up.
Oh, God.
It's time to do Inside the Bot.
If we must. So, inside the shop.
Oh, inside the shop. So what's been happening in the shop? I'm going to keep it quite brief, this Inside the Shop.
Keep it brief.
Because I've not got a great deal, but what I'm actually doing is very exciting. Is building my own 5-way pneumatic switch at the moment to take 20 bar of pressure for an exciting self-righting mechanism. That's all I'm going to give you at the moment. There's been some shenanigans and some broken items, but I'll have a little bit more to talk about, I think, next time.
Okay, we'll save the shenanigans.
We'll save them
next time.
Yeah.
News.
We've got loads of news this week.
Go on then.
It's exciting.
Robot Wars.
First of all, Robot Wars, we know is coming. It's been announced. It's on. We've got lots of papers. All the papers are hyping up and starting to do it. It's going into. There's lots of adverts during daytime TV now to say that it's coming, and the hype wagon is rolling down the hill.
It's not a train yet. It's just a wagon.
It's a wagon, but it's going to become a train very soon, and that is going to be on very soon.
I'm excited. They've said they've got some international deals, haven't they?
Yes, they've got. I think they've got Germany.
Germany and somewhere else weird.
Somewhere weird, but I couldn't. Oh, Israel.
They love a bit of Robot Wars.
Honestly, but hopefully for the rest of you guys, and especially all our American cousins, because we love our American cousins,
and they love us,
which is awesome. Let's hope that we can get you. Watching it in some way, shape or form. I'm not sure how.
You can have some words.
BBC America? I'll put my little fingers
Throw
out.
around your clout.
I'm not sure how clouty it is at the moment. But other news, BattleBots was postponed. Which is like that.
That is sad, isn't it?
Do you know what? My Thursday wasn't the same.
Mine was. My Friday wasn't, though. That's when I normally watch it.
I would stay up late and watch it.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't the same, but important issues in America being sorted out. So
apparently so.
So we'll get on to that. But so we don't really have a show.
No. Thanks for listening, everyone.
So see you next time. Hey, stop a minute for the old break song. We do have a show. What's it called? Every show needs a title.
And we'll get to that.
Okay.
So what if I said to you, Gabe, 2 guests? A written statement from a robot team.
Okay, so we've got 2 guests coming on.
Yep.
A written statement from a robot team.
Yep.
And a small sweet wrapper from another team.
And not much else from another team.
Not much else.
However, the title of this show is The Lost Bots.
The Lost Bots. Cue.
I'll edit some music.
I
won't edit any music in Gabe.
The Lost Bots. That's exciting. That sounds exciting. So what are the Lost Bots?
Well, if you go onto the BattleBots website for Season 2, you'll see 5 robots that we haven't yet seen on the TV show.
Because they can't obviously be here because we've chosen all of the brackets, haven't we?
Well, unless they were superseded.
Are they going to come in like gods at the end?
Just like the final bosses.
Destroy everything.
You win the final, and before you can get the giant nut,
you have to
beat these 5 at once.
To be honest, there's probably one that I'd want that could maybe be a Slayer, but the rest are.
Oh, you'd want one? Yeah, okay. Yeah, so The Lost Bots is the episode.
Let's get straight into the Lost Bots. I love a lost bot. It's good to go and find one. Rummage about. Find a lost bot in the shrubs.
Okay.
Okay.
So the first one.
Okay.
Was Ambush.
Ambush. The first lost bot. So let's go
through the robot.
Let's look inside the bot.
It's a saw bot.
Yeah. It hasn't got. What does a saw bot always need?
Well, it needs a kind of grabbing device,
exactly.
So it can grab it and saw into it. Now, I think from talking to the Ambush team, Team Blindside Robotics,
excellent,
that both the saw and the arm underneath are meant to be articulated.
Oh, Well, okay.
And I think that was always the plan.
Mm-hmm.
And so...
Why would you... What?
So you can kind of crush them together.
Yeah, but
in a sort of...
Surely that would just stop the saw.
Not if you do it slowly. Slowly enough. I don't know.
Anyway, okay. So, it's sort of a strange-looking robot, isn't it?
It is.
Very strange indeed. And this guy obviously didn't make it.
Who's that?
Do we know...
Oh, Ambush, yeah.
Yeah. Do we know any more? Why didn't... what happened?
Well, I spoke to Greg Munson.
Oh, did you? Greg Munson?
Greg Munson.
Of BattleBots fame?
Of BattleBots fame.
That's amazing.
Founder of BattleBots with his...
cousin Trey.
With his cousin Trey.
Indeed.
And general BattleBots god.
So, has he given you some information?
He's given me a little bit of information on this robot. Shall we have a listen?
Let's have a hear from him. Greg!
Greg!
Keep him under a box with Farouk.
Yeah.
Come on, Greg. Come on, stop messing around with Farouk and come up here and talk to us.
Here he is.
So, hi, I'm Greg Munson, the creator of BattleBots. My cousin and I, Trey Roski, created BattleBots, I don't know, back in 1999, and it was on Comedy Central, and now it's on ABC, and happy days. So, the missing robots.
Yeah.
Ambush. So anyway, season 1, season 2, very compressed time schedule, not only for production, making the TV show, all the pre-production stuff you have to do, but also for building the arena, because every year we have to majorly fix the arena. And this year we did a double roof. We put 1.25 Lex on everything, not just the bottom walls, but the bottom and top walls. We triple plated the floor. We did all kinds of stuff to make the box stronger. Okay. And under a very rushed time frame. So, and the bot builders themselves, most of them were notified like December, January, and they only had like a couple, like a few months to get ready for the show in April. And there's lots of, paperwork and legal forms and all kinds of stuff you have to do to satisfy the requirements of the network to be on TV. Yeah. And it's just as a pain in the butt. So Lydia was one of these unfortunate teams. Ambush, and Lydia is the team captain.
Yep, Lydia Yeckley, yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the unfortunate teams that just didn't have enough time. And they came to Los Angeles, to the set, to the LA Hangar Studios where we did everything, basically with an unfinished robot. And they were racing like crazy in the pit to try to get it done and try to get it through safety inspection, and they just couldn't get it done. It didn't happen for them. Okay. I believe that for one moment, I think we almost got them in a rumble.
Yeah.
I forget if we did or not. My brain's a little hazy on what they were able to achieve, because everyone got sick during the taping of the show. There was this horrible, like, influenza going around that infected the crew, the producers, the bot builders, everyone except like the talent. Thank God. We called it the botulism or the box pox. So I was a little sick. So Lydia was one of those unfortunate teams, Ambush, that just came with a robot that was unfinished and couldn't get it together.
Okay.
Wow.
That was amazing. So poor old Lydia, she went crazy, and they tried to push it, and just not enough time.
Not enough time, couldn't really get anything working. I think they were ready to go, and yeah.
It's just, do you know what, that happens in BattleBots and in Robots, that's a thing.
Wouldn't come off for them. But funnily enough, it's not the only representation I've had about that team.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, who else have you had?
Well, I did speak to Lydia of
Amazing.
Team Blindside.
Did you actually speak to her?
I spoke to her.
Good. So we
had an hour and a half chat.
Oh, God. Okay.
Here it is. No.
Oh, that's too long.
I've stripped out some of the best bits.
You stripped what?
From our chat.
That's so...
Let's
just keep it nice. Let's keep it
nice.
nice.
Edited them together.
Okay.
And you can have a listen.
But I think what we should do is, what I'd really like to do, because we've got so much great stuff from Lydia, is actually maybe later on in other shows.
Maybe
we'll come back to that.
We'll come back to it. Maybe we'll release it separately. I don't know.
Okay, cool.
We'll get to all the good stuff.
Don't worry, you're not going to miss out on any.
But here are the best bits of the Ambush interview.
Okay.
So how did you guys come about?
So Our team was formed back in October of 2015, so relatively soon, by 4 students: Art Kalb, Bennett Wong, Kevin Leonard, and myself. Mm-hmm. We had known each other from the first robotics competition in high school.
The 9 of you were formed. Did you already have BattleBots in mind, or was that just a robotics sort of club?
Kevin came up to us and said, "Hey, BattleBots is having open admissions, or not no open admissions, but open applications."
That's the one, yeah.
And what if we just got together and made a robot? And it's one of those moments where you're sitting there and you're like, sure. Yeah. And then sure enough, the application opened up, and after American Thanksgiving, we all started meeting more regularly.
Oh, yeah. So when did you guys get accepted?
We got accepted on, if I recall correctly, January 20th.
Okay, so you had pretty much exactly 3 months.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's back it up a little bit, because I've skipped over. How did you get your idea for the bot?
So the design process on Ambush, it started with us kind of staring at a whiteboard and figuring out all the different types of combat robots that we had seen in previous years and back in original BattleBots. Yeah. We kind of laid it all out, decided what we kind of wanted to go with. You hear everyone going with spinners and drum spinners, and we wanted to kind of get away from that. So we decided to go with a lifter-style mechanism with the saws.
Yeah.
And we also...
What's the idea there? Are you hoping to lift something into the saws? Do the saws articulate as well?
So that was the original plan, is that the main weapon was supposed to articulate from the wrist. Mm-hmm. And the saws would come down, kind of clamp onto them, inflicting more damage. Also, we originally had a flamethrower system in our base. So we had them right there, and then a flamethrower from below.
So you kind of go in for a complete control mixed with what's the saw blaze? Saw blaze?
Yeah, like saw blaze.
And then mixed with
Scorpios. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much every bit of everything in there.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. So, what did you have to get together for the application? You had to get some CAD work done. Was that?
We had to get it mostly CAD'd. We used SolidWorks to do that. We had the CAD. We had to do some schematics.
Was that a plug, by the way, for SolidWorks?
I mean, if it is. I mean, I just really like it. I prefer it more than anything else. But
now you're continuing the plug here. I like it.
Sorry.
We've spoken about the design, SolidWorks CAD work.
Yes. So
what a great program.
Oh yes, 10 out of 10. I would recommend
10 out of 10. Would recommend. So you got all the application done. How was it looking? Is what you presented at BattleBots what was in your application?
For the most part, if you put our CAD model and our actual robot side by side, yeah, they look very similar. However, a lot of the internals kind of fell apart for us. Okay. Do you want to go more into that?
Yeah, so what are you using in there? What's inside?
So originally, all of our experience was in First Robotics. So obviously, you want to go back to the things you know. Well, there was not a very good translation between First Robotics and Combat Robotics.
So First Robotics, what sort of weight are they?
They are 120-pound robots, maximum.
So did you basically try and scale it up?
We essentially tried scaling it up. Unfortunately, our electronics kind of suffered from that. That was our really big downfall, was our electronics.
So batteries,
we originally
speed
had
controllers, motors.
Yeah, so our ESCs are, those fired up on us.
Okay.
That kind of, because when we were at filming, we were constantly working on the robot, trying to get through inspection, because we were one of the original 56.
Okay, so you weren't a backup?
We were not a backup.
Okay.
So we get there, we are scrambling to get this thing to work. because we ran into a lot of issues with sponsorship, finding a space. Because when you have a bunch of college students coming around saying, "Hey, we need money for this thing. We promise we'll be on TV."
Yeah.
People don't believe you. So
yeah, I can go with that. Yeah.
we lost a lot of time on money and scholarship, not scholarship, money and time. Just a lot of time.
Yeah.
So we're scrambling to fix all the electronics issues.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, it came to a point where BattleBots producers had to say, "Look, we have a time frame that we need to get onto."
How close were you guys? You turned up to filming, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And how close were you to getting on? Do you think?
We were actually in Studio B, which was where the filming the battle box was, right outside the archway. They have a test box that make you go through inspections. We passed the drive inspection. We passed everything else. We fire up the saws just to get them to go, and sparks fly out of our ESC.
You get some magic smoke.
Yeah, and there were some producers sitting there, and they looked at me and they did this. That was kind of the end of it.
That was Lydia from Team Blindside. She hates it when you call her Team Ambush.
Oh, is it Blindside Robotics?
It's Team Blindside Robotics.
Why is it Blindside? Did you mention why that was on there?
I didn't ask.
Record, just delete or edit all of this bit because it's all crap. This bit.
Why?
Well, because I can't. Do you know what? I can't even get my lips right.
Is it because you can't say Blindside Robotics?
That's the problem with Lydia.
You know what?
Lydia, look, if you're going to name your team, Blindside.
I'm
started spitting on myself.
I'm
just
leaving
saying.
this in, by the way.
I'm sure you will do. But so Team Ambush. Right, I'm not doing it anymore. No wonder it didn't get on. No one can say the darn name.
So I think the main problem was they're a young team.
Yeah.
They've come from building smaller robots and tried to go big with the same philosophy they used in smaller robots.
Oh, no, but that can work. Well, that can work. That definitely can work. But however, everything has got to be beefier. But also, do you know what? With electronics for robots now are dead simple. You guys out there, if you've not built one before, you go on a few forums, you look and you talk to people.
And I think that is key.
You've got to talk to some robotists. And do you know what? Most people who build robots are really nice, will always give you the time of day if you ask sensible questions. Can I just put that? I'm going to stress that again. Sensible questions.
But how do you know what a sensible question is?
Just one that's... I can't think of one. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go and find you a non-sensible question for next time.
For next week.
Okay.
So... And because they're a young team.
Do you know what? Let's hope they come back and let's hope they perfect what they were going to do and come back stronger.
I mean, Lydia said it was a great learning experience, a great networking experience.
So that's what will help her now build a better bot. Because when you go and see other robots, you can go, that's the motors I use. That's the speed controllers I should use. That's the setup I should use. So once you've been there, then...
And they've got a bit of clout now with sponsors if they want to try and find one.
So they can definitely get something.
Wish them all the best for the future.
Excellent.
And I think they're definitely going to go for season 3.
Great. Well, Lydia, looking forward to seeing your next piece of art.
The next creation.
Indeed.
Great. So the next lost bot
is Lost Bot
was the dentist.
Oh, the dentist. So the dentist. Now the dentist had been doing a lot of bragging on the internet before BattleBots was being filmed, during the build time. We're going to have the biggest motor ever on a spinner. And lots of us were going...
Sounds like a really good idea.
It does sound like a good idea. And even Mr. Bales piped in at one point. I remember one of the threads going, "Hey, punk, the biggest one, what do you think? We've got the biggest one." There was some shenanigans anyway. And there was a bit of... There's a few of us drum spinner sorts that get overexcited. And we were like, oh, there's a new punk coming along and saying they've got a massive...
There's a new drum in town.
Oh, there's a new drum in town. And it's going to have the biggest motor in the world. And then we find out that... they do indeed have an enormous motor. In fact, the first one they started with was from a Prius. The actual car team, they used to brush this motor from a car. Now, can you see a flaw in that?
Imagine it's going to be quite heavy.
It's going to be too damn heavy. Heavier than... just too heavy. It's going to be all motor and no robot.
All motor, no trousers.
Exactly. So during the build time of the dentist, I was quite excited for the dentist because I thought, do you know what?
I mean, it's either going to be brilliant or it's going to destroy everything around itself.
I thought, to be honest,
itself.
The way it was described and they were talking about it, I was so excited for it. Until I see it.
Okay.
And then that makes me furious. This is going to be on TV.
Yeah.
It's going to be something that's got to look awesome. Yeah, if it doesn't look awesome, it's got to have the best darn weapon in the world.
You know,
okay?
it looks like...
But just...
It looks like a dead metal lava.
It does.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. That's amazing.
Its arms haven't quite come out yet.
I got you. So
it hasn't got its spikes on its back.
It hasn't pupated
and
yet.
it's just got a couple of baby teeth.
I love it. So it's like dead metal before it pupates.
Yeah.
So see, that makes it better for me now. I'm happy with it.
I fixed it up.
Because when I look at it at the moment, I'm thinking that looks like a robot from 2001. Not the film, the Space Odyssey, not that.
No.
I'm talking from.
If anything, the things in that look more futuristic than this robot.
Exactly. It's got sort of like... And do you know what? I don't want to be mean about it because it's actually taken a lot of work, but the grey wheels, someone's written all over them for some reason, and then a very boring white top.
Yeah.
It's like... Now, do you know what I think here? Ran out of time.
Ran out of time.
That's the thing. Okay, because I can see, actually, there's potential to put a lot more onto this robot. Yeah. But it obviously ran out of time. I know that they had problems with the motor.
They had a difficult build. They ended up overweight.
Do you know what makes me furious about that? People who design robots, obviously it's designed in some computer system, CAD.
Yeah.
Why is it overweight? CAD measures it for you. There's no excuse for overweight, honestly.
They've not really factored something in there.
No, and I know they didn't end up using the Prius motor because it's just too darn heavy and impossible to mount. So...
and when they got to BattleBots itself, so I had a little written statement from the dentist.
Okay.
Thanks a lot for that, because that was really great of them.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And they said when they got to BattleBots, they had some radio issues.
Okay.
So
it pretty much ran out of time.
And speed controller firmware issues as well.
Okay.
And, you know, it's just...
No, well, that's...
things
you know what?
that maybe should have been ironed out a lot
sooner. But do you know when you're building a robot, those are the last things you put in?
Yeah.
They really are, because you don't get onto them. You're so focused on the mechanical part to get it to work. What did Greg say about this robot?
Oh, yeah, I haven't even got to Greg's little comments.
So, should we hear from Greg?
Yeah, we'll hear from Greg.
Greg,
come on.
out.
Right on the table.
There you go.
The dentist was yet another one where the time crunch to build was just too intense, and they came with an unfinished robot. And they knew it. And I think Lydia was struggling like crazy to get this thing ready in time, and she was just on the bubble of making it or not making it. Whereas the dentist was like, yeah, we're screwed. We're not going to make it. Give our spot to one of the alternates.
Okay. Who ended up getting their spot? Do you remember, or is that...
I don't remember. I could find out, but I don't remember. It was probably Yeti.
Oh, well, that's fine then.
Yeah, Yeti was an alternate, and it was either like an ambush or the dentist who had to drop out that enabled Yeti to get in.
In retrospect, then probably you're quite glad with that.
Yeah, although the dentist had probably the most powerful drum spinner in the competition. They had this insane. The motor that ran the drum spinner was insane. We had serious tip speed trepidations with them. We were like wondering, is this thing going to be too dangerous for the arena? That's what we have to be very, very, very careful about. Is if an arena, if a robot can damage the arena, we can't let it in because it's the safety of the audience.
Is that thinking about the actual the plexiglass? Sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't call it that, do you? Is it Lexan?
The Lexan, exactly, and it's 1.25 inches thick, which is crazy. It's laminated. It's flame retardant. It's about the strongest Lexan you can get, but even then, you've got a Son of Waiachi.
Oh yeah.
Thing spinning at 300 miles an hour. If that thing breaks off and goes right to the Lexan, you do not want it to break through. So we were limiting tips. We were limiting tip speed at the competition. I forget the exact number, but I think it was like 250 miles an hour. And Rebecca's bot, the dentist, had the potential of going way over that.
What do you mean by tip speed? Sorry.
The tip of the the
Oh,
spinner.
okay.
Right,
So
how fast is it going?
So the absolute outside edge of the spinner.
Yeah, we didn't want anything over like 250 miles an hour, and I forget the exact number, but it was around that. Okay. And I think next year in the rules we'll actually explicitly say it can't be over X, and we'll determine what X is over the next few months in terms of spinning tip speed.
That's purely for safety.
Yeah,
that's cool. So dentist, unfinished bot.
Unfinished bot.
And they knew it.
They totally knew it. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So I think that's pretty much confirmed what we thought.
Sounds like he was a bit scared about the tipping speed.
Well, and you didn't actually know what that meant. You embarrassed yourself. You embarrassed yourself. Greg, what's the tip speed? Is it? And Greg went.
Greg knows I'm just a fan.
You need to be more research. I'm furious.
This is aerodynamic.
You showed yourself up.
I'm meant to be.
I know, but it makes me look bad, doesn't it? Because I should be teaching you. You should have asked me about tip speed. You made it a bit filthy.
Just listen to Greg talking about tip speed, and then
what's tips mean, Greg? Not that sort of tip. It's about the weapon, the outside pointy bit. So. Do you know what? I think the blacksmith. I love blacksmith, by the way. Blacksmith. Put it aside. The dentist was just too darn dangerous.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure I think they've gone off the kinetic energy weapon now, by the look of their thing, because they can't have 300 mile an hour, which is. Do you know what? 150 mile an hour is plenty.
They said, you know what? If we can't go supersonic,
we're not interested. No, we'll do something else.
No, so they've told us their future plans are kind of under wraps for now,
and that's cool.
They might be pushing a different avenue.
Yeah.
With their bot design ideas.
Yeah. Pushing a different bot. Yeah.
Pushing a different bot avenue.
Okay.
And then.
Well, I'll be excited to see what they come up with next.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So that was the dentist. So Helichopper was our next one.
Yep.
And I want to do this properly.
Okay.
But I want to hear from Greg first.
Let's hear from Greg.
Because I think he was heartbroken talking about it.
Let's hear from Greg.
Let's just hear from him. He's crying already. Come on, Greg.
Greg, come out from under the table.
Come on, talk to us, Greg.
Helichopper. That was the most painful one. The most painful.
I've seen some videos of this, and
that was painful. So his story is on Reddit. So if you guys want to go to Reddit, our BattleBots, he's written all about what happened. I think he told his story to one of the Reddit contributors, and they wrote it up for the community to see. But in a nutshell, and from my perspective, he had this incredible robot, completely original, something we've never seen before.
It looks bonkers.
It's bonkers, and the hammers are going to come out, and when it's out, it has like a 12-foot diameter. Right?
I think I've seen this. Yeah, there's videos around.
And our concern, and I told him this from day one, that our concern is that you can't have an entanglement device. You can't have something that it's entangled in Tombstone's blade or Ice Wave's blade or Hypershock's drum, right? You can't have that. It's too easy of a way to take out a spinner. It's too cheap.
Yeah, we've been there.
So he said, it's not going to entangle. It's not going to entangle. And then he gets there, and he's got a 12-foot diameter, and we were really concerned that gives him hardly any space in the 48 feet of the battle box to drive. Mm-hmm. He's just going to pound the walls instantly, pound the walls. And it may hurt the arena, and it may just be uninteresting of a fight if he's just constantly pounding the arenas and the ropes go limp, and he doesn't spin back up to speed very fast. So it was concerning. So he said to me, no problem. I'll reduce it to 6 feet. No problem. And I said, hey, if it's not a problem, go for it. And so he did. Plus he had another top that did not extend. It was just 3 blades that were hinged, and then they would expand with the momentum of the spinning. Mm-hmm. And he says, hey, and if it doesn't work, I can always put this new top back on. And we said, great, that's the plan. Reduce it to 6. And if that doesn't work, you put on the other thing. So he was fixing it. And you can read all the details on Reddit. But he got it into, we would not let it test in the test box, the small, like 10-foot test box.
Oh, yeah.
12-foot test box. And it had to be in the big arena. So we're waiting because the film crews are in there doing all kinds of stuff, and it's being painted and it's getting ready for TV. And finally we have a moment to get him in there, and he does it, and it spins up, and the batteries explode. And it's like it was a tragedy, but we're still like, I don't know, I'm guessing here, but it was like 24 to 48 hours away from filming.
Yeah.
So he's got time. Fix it. Go, 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 go. So he's fixing it. He's racing around. He's doing all the crazy thing that all the bot builders do. Calling people, sourcing parts, getting in their car, running down to McMaster Car, which is like 20 miles down the freeway in Los Angeles. Calling his friends to overnight ship him a part back from home. all this crazy stuff, right?
Yeah.
And he gets it going again. Tests it again. I missed the second test, but Trey was there. And they were painting the arena, and the second test was going fine. But then suddenly one of the pieces of it's like cardboard paper that they use so they don't get paint on the black. The red paint doesn't spill into the black.
Okay.
Got sucked up into his bot, and something happened, and the batteries exploded again.
Oh no.
And so that was like face palm shit.
Yeah.
This, tragedy, and now he had no time to fix it. And so it was just one of these horrible, probably what could have been definitely one of the most original bots in the competition, and what could have been, it seems, at least from the look of it, could have been the most powerful bots and most exciting bots. Just didn't make it because we wanted to modify it.
Yeah.
And there wasn't sufficient time to modify it because of the 2 flameouts. One of which, was kind of, really, it was. I would say, it was both of our fault. He probably shouldn't have driven over where the paper was, and we probably shouldn't have had them test when they had the paper in there. But it was one of those things. You have no time. You have to just do it.
Exactly. It's TV time constraints.
Yeah. But we totally want, Helichopper back. Helichopper, I hope, wants to come back.
Oh yeah.
And he has a whole nother top. So if this system of his does prove to be entanglement, and we talked about that, if we would talk to the other builder, and if a problem of entanglement happened, we'd just stop the fight, call a timeout, and start it up again, or we'd redo it, and he could put his other top on.
Yeah.
We were willing to test it out and see, because he assured us, he said the thickness of these cables will not entangle. They'll act more like hammers.
So it's literally cables come out of that robot.
Yeah.
Wow. It's really, like, I was looking at it trying to figure out what it was apart from just a spinning hammer bot, but that sounds cool.
It's really cool.
Definitely a man that's heartbroken.
Definitely. And do you know what?
I feel like he wanted that robot to be in just as much as the team did.
Oh, and do you know what? When I heard the Helichopper had gone out, I was gutted as well, because it's a beautiful robot. It's an amazing robot.
And what I didn't realise about this until I started looking into it further is I didn't realise those hammers were going to come out, and I was already excited about it.
Yeah, and then when they come out,
you're like, that's crazy.
Do you know what? I'm not sure how effective they'll be.
I don't really care.
No, it doesn't matter. Even if it explodes in a mighty brilliance, which it actually did before it got on TV. But definitely a lovely robot. And do you know what? Tweak it, change it, get it reliable, bring it back.
And I think it's one of those things. So we say, this should have been ironed out ages ago for some of these things. But this one, I don't know how you could iron out the fact that your massive spinner that is too dangerous to spin up outside of the battle box itself doesn't work. How do you iron that out? How do you figure that out before it happens?
Well, do you know what? The main thing is the spinners actually have not a problem. It's when it destroys its LiPo batteries or when it sucks up its paper. Do you know what? I think it's a series of accidents. I'll tell you what it is. It's got the beta badness.
Oh, it has got the beta, but it's cursed.
Yeah, which means 12 years. Sorry, Helichopper. You've got 12 years of badness before you can come back. Oh, let's put that aside. Let's come back next year with Helichopper. With those bits ironed out, and I think it'll be golden.
Maybe they should go and see Witch Doctor to lift their curse.
That would be... Do you know what? There you go. A little bit of that, the old stuff, a bit of the old shaking and stuff, and it would be done, wouldn't it?
That'd be all right. But on to our next robot.
Yep.
And I say robot, I use the term robot very loosely because I don't know what's going on here.
Well, do you know what? I'm not sure. I can't even work this one out, to be honest. So can we get Greg? I want to get Greg, honestly, he knows what's happening. So can we get him out from Greg?
Greg, please can help us, Greg.
And I'll try not to be furious.
So every year we definitely leave a few spots open for the weirdest, original, someone who wants to push the envelope and just do something so outlandish and different. We're like, okay, it's fine. You're probably going to get killed. You're probably going to get destroyed. But it's just such a weird, kooky, strange idea that go for it. Let's see what happens.
Okay.
And so the praying mantis was an insect. And it was going to shuffle on 6 feet like an insect. Kind of like, like a hex bug maybe.
Okay.
Not so much vibrating movement, but actually shuffle movement, right?
Okay.
And then it was going to, the front 2 legs were going to, there was a hinge on its back that allowed its front 2 legs to pivot upwards. And then he was going to stab himself with these fangs into the bot that was in front of him. And he'd be resting on his 4 legs in the rear.
Okay.
That was the design that we saw in the application. Now he comes with something that's not quite that and was not ready at all. And in fact, when he did his first test, it literally just walked in place. It had no traction.
Okay.
And then it didn't work. And it was one of these things where it's like, Sasha, it's not going to happen this time. And he knew it. He was another team. They were another team where they knew it just wasn't going to work. It wasn't perfected yet.
Yeah.
And they, again, another one of these teams that opened the door for the likes of Yeti and the other alternates.
Okay.
Captain Shredderator was an alternate. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Mohawk was an alternate.
I can see that.
So all those 3 bots got in because of these guys having problems. But I would like to see praying mantis perfect what they can do.
It could be interesting, yeah.
I told him at the end of the show, it's like, dude, so get it working, and prove to us with video that you can make that thing shuffle around at top speed and actually do damage to something.
What sort of speed was it supposed to get up to?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, like a little trotting, insect.
Yeah.
a good trot, I would say.
A trot. A light gallop.
But in a world of just like spinners and lifters and drums,
definitely.
You gotta have some other interesting bots. And they may end up as spinner fodder. And we try to make the first round so the fights are evenly matched, right? The qualifying round, we want the fights as much as we can to be evenly matched.
Yeah.
And had he made it, he would have had a shot. But he actually told me over the phone. I said to him, how are you going to beat a robot like Tombstone? How are you going to do that with this robot? And he says, I can do it. I have a plan.
Well, thanks for enlightening us, Greg.
Right, now...
I'm not sure that makes it any better, to be honest.
I'll tell you what, when you apply to BattleBots, you apply not with a finished robot, you apply with CAD plans, with scale models, with drawings, whatever you like. And obviously it's great, you can draw a beast, can't you? And then when you come to make it, and you bring it to BattleBots and they go...
I'll tell you what, I have drawn some robots in my time.
You have drawn some robots?
I've drawn about 20 BattleBots winners. And
that one that you drew that time, that was scary, just looking at it on the paper.
That was just dead metal.
You did draw dead metal. But, and you couldn't take that.
How many BattleBots winners do you think you've drawn?
Oh, many.
Did they all work perfectly?
Of course. They all work perfectly on paper.
That's amazing.
When you say, it's going to articulate in the centre and stab its fangs into the back of another robot.
I remember that one I had that was like Terminator, and it would like melt down and
that was a genius
tank,
one.
And then
it could change into anything. And you told the BattleBots people, look, I've invented living metal. And they went, bring it
Brilliant.
on.
Bring it on, BattleBots.
And then you just poured some mercury onto the thing and it didn't move. You've gone, what the hell is that?
They weren't happy about that.
No.
Like, you've got mercury all over the arena.
Now, do you know what? I think, I'm going to put this out there, because I think some roboteers who maybe didn't get picked for BattleBots would then be a bit sort of miffed when they see Praying Mantis. Yeah, wouldn't they? Like,
who would you be talking about?
Well, no, not me. I'm perfectly happy. Because I'm not a miffed person.
Okay, you're starting to sound a bit miffed.
No, not at all. No, I'm putting it out there. I wasn't miffed at all because that's the way of the world. I'm happy with that. But there's other people I know who definitely were miffed. Okay. And there's other people who are miffed about not getting onto Robot Wars as well. They're miffed. They're definitely miffed. So, and then they see this and they go, well, mine's much better than that. Why is that? Now, do you know what? You said this in the very first episode. Why can't every robot be grey?
But I've come around to the idea of
change your mind.
A weirdness coming on.
A weirdness is what actually.
And Greg said we save a few spots for the weirdness every year.
Because some of those robots, they could be grey. No. The potential, they could be amazing. And imagine if you found a new type of robot that was amazing, that would be a scoop. So you have to give a chance to other robots. Now, if I was a BattleBots person and I said, right, yes, I'm going to give you a significant amount of money to build a robot for me that you've promised to build me, and then you bring one along and it's like, it sort of looks like it, but doesn't really look like it.
Yeah.
What are you doing? And now, obviously, what we haven't seen is the original plans for Mantis, and they may well look like that. But I can't see.
Well, Greg said those arms should be
much more vicious.
They're going to be.
But I can't even see what it does. And do you know what? I always thought of Praying Mantis bits, these bits, the claw front bits, are meant to be out the front.
Yeah,
not halfway
it's meant
up.
to stand up on its hind legs, isn't it?
Yeah, and then it has the things like the praying.
Well, I mean.
Anyway, now do you know what Greg said? Get it perfected, bring it back.
Yeah,
and I really would challenge them to say, it's got to have an active weapon. I can't see an active weapon on it.
Well, it's meant to be the claws, but
I can't see that being active. At the moment, they just look like 2 bits of metal. I could put 2 horns on mine and say, oh, those are horns of the devil. They come out and they attack you. Yeah. But they obviously don't.
It's really weird how you can't really win with BattleBots. If you're a BattleBot builder.
What do you mean?
You're either too boring, or you try something crazy and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
There's only a very few standard robots that get in.
Do you know what I think?
I think every season that would get harder because.
No, well, see, do you know what I think?
You get the established favourites, so you get like Tombstone. It's very hard to get yourself in there.
No, of course. Now, do you know what I think, actually? And I think what we'll probably do is I'd like to do, during the show, actually, talk about BattleBots entries. When I applied for BattleBots and didn't get on, which is absolutely fine, it's because... and they give you really good feedback at the time. And it's just, you know what, we got too many of that type of robot, or it's not quite what we want, or it's this and this and this. Now, because they've got a series of slots, they want a good show, and not everyone can get on each time. And so what it does for me is it makes me go back to the drawing board.
What was your criticism, your feedback?
We've already got enough of that type of robot.
Oh, okay.
So, and that's fine. But
to be fair, you did just draw Tombstone and send it to them.
I think that was just called it coffin.
Coffin.
But no,
headstone.
What it does is it actually should make you as a designer. It makes me actually go, do you know what? I can step up to the plate. I can do something different. I actually want to make something that you guys go, oh my god, that's amazing, and we need it on. Yeah. Because if you can draw a Xenobot like that, then you're golden. And
I think when we've perfected that living metal...
Oh, well, actually, I'm working on living metal. I got Farouk, actually, He's in his under table. He's working on that at the moment.
Excellent.
Because he's quite good at that sort of thing.
So it's quite cramped on the
I know, but we're going to get some more in there. Do you know what? So, they're lost spots.
We've only done 3.
Oh, we've got another one.
We've got 2 more.
Oh my God, we better pack them in.
Oh no, we haven't. We've done 4. We've still got 1 more.
What is the last one?
The last one.
Oh, Road Rash. Now, I was disappointed in Road Rash a little bit.
Okay, but shall we hear?
Let's hear from Greg.
From Greg first.
Of course.
Come on, Greg.
Greg!
Get out here. Tell us about Road Rash. Because I cannot see for the life of me what's going on here.
Road Rash. So Road Rash was another bot that they were going to use this induction drive, which basically was they would reverse magnetize. I don't know how it works, but they basically would kind of float along the arena floor.
Oh.
And that was their plan. And they have lots of videos on YouTube about it, where it works on a small scale. And based on those videos and the confidence of Frederick and the other guys, we let them in. And they're part of the original MIT team, which was a great team.
Yeah.
And they came and it wasn't working. It wasn't perfected yet. They had a backup where it was just going to be wheels. And they had it kind of working. And they were in line, ready to fight a few times.
Yeah.
As an alternate, ready to go in. But they were one of the alternates that didn't make it in.
Just didn't get called up.
They just didn't. They're literally like at the front of the line, waiting for some robot not to make it, not to get through safety inspection. I forget which one it was, but I'll give you a typical scenario. Hypershock, right?
Yeah.
Hypershock, and Will, if you're listening, I'm sorry, but never's ready. Okay, it's like producers are running backstage trying to get Hypershock. Are you ready? Are you ready? We're all talking on walkie-talkies. Is Hypershock ready? We need him we need him to go. Hypershock's not ready. Hypershock's not ready. Finally, Hypershock rolls up, gets in the queue to get into the arena, and they're still fixing. They're still tweaking stuff and making stuff work, and it's it's always sort of last minute with Hypershock. So there's road rage, waiting for someone like a Hypershock not to make it. And it just didn't happen for him.
Great insights from Greg.
Excellent. Can we talk about the bot a little bit?
Okay.
Greg didn't really go into the bot, did he?
No.
Sawbot, though. But what's this Sawbot got?
It's got grabbers.
It's got grabbers.
The Sawbot's got grabbers. And
it's got grabbers. It has the potential.
You know what?
What?
All of these are kind of a bit dead metal.
They are, aren't they?
Apart from Helichopper
Do you
and
think
Praying Mantis.
So
3 of them are quite dead metal.
3?
Yeah.
Dentist.
Ambush. Has some saws on it.
Yeah, and Road Rash. All a bit dead metal. Do you think dead metal's been up to shenanigans?
I think
when he's been on his holidays. Do you know what? I think dead metal's Scottish.
I don't know.
I think, and I can see him going, aye, and getting into things in America and getting excited. Dead metal. Forget that. Can I just say, right?
Look at that tyre over there.
Look at the tyre. That's not really Scottish, is it? I'm ruining it.
And then, so something dead metal and a tyre have kind of come together and created this.
Yes.
And then, I don't know what he's come together, a forklift truck, I think, to make Ambush.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I see what he's been doing, he's been going with.
What he's procreated with to create.
So, Ambush of forklift truck.
Yeah. The
dentist.
I don't know, really.
I think we've run out of things for that one.
A dentist.
With a dentist. Fair enough, a dentist. And this one, we've already talked about being a wheel. That's
a wheel,
yeah. Go with a wheel.
Just a wheel.
Osmosis.
And grab it onto it.
Oh, yeah, he grabbed onto it and out popped this one. Do you know what? I love tyre armour. My drum spinner's going to have tyre armour.
Don't tell the people at the drum competition are going to know that you've got tyre armour now.
They've seen it already because it's on my build diary. But do you know what I've got if you're going to use a tyre, you've got to use a sexy tyre. And what's a sexy tyre?
Motocross tyre.
Motocross tyre. Every time it's got to be motocross tyre. Or the other type of tyre, which is sexy.
Tractor tyre.
No. No. What is it?
Sexy for a farmer.
Superbike tyre.
Well, like a really slick one.
They're nice. You've changed some tyres. I've seen you do it.
Yeah.
On a superbike.
Oh, I'm a pro at superbike
So
tyres.
why not use a superbike tyre?
But I think, maybe.
Definitely. It's either motocross or superbike. Any other type of tyre, that tyre there is a motorbike tyre. There's a general run-of-the-mill road one.
Looks like a new one as well. You can get cheap ones on the used one. Why would you not want a used one?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, that's very sloppy. Very sloppy. If Greg, he's given you a significant amount of money, here you go, have some money.
Superbike tyres are expensive.
Yeah, I don't care about that. Just don't stint on things. If Greg's given you some money and train, they've gone, look, there's some money, go and bid in, you've got an old
If Greg's
tyre.
given me some money,
Yeah, you're going to get a new tyre every time.
I'm going to say, this isn't really my money, this is Greg's money.
Exactly, so I'm going to spend it in the best way possible.
And I'm not going to be frivolous with it.
No.
I'm going to buy a brand new motorbike tyre.
You see, Greg would go, look, this is for ABC. I want a decent tyre. I don't want your old tyre from your grand's moped that she's scuffed up.
She's selling it for a very reasonable price.
Yeah, but it's not good enough. It's not good enough. It makes me furious.
And the new... well, when Greg gives us both money to buy tyres...
To be honest.
And you're all tyre and no robot, and I've got a used tyre robot. Oh, you know what we should do?
What?
When Greg's given us both money.
Yeah. Why is he giving you money?
Because I'm an amazing bot builder.
Okay.
Now that I know about shipping speed.
We should make a team for BattleBots.
Exactly.
But you're not to decide.
What we're going to do...
With your old
we're going to have
second-hand
two
stuff.
bots that are equal weight and add up to £250.
What, a multi-bot?
A multi-bot.
We're not having a multi-bot.
We're having a multi-bot.
No, I refuse it.
And then they'll both have tyre armour.
And yours will be old, and mine's will be new.
Yeah.
Mine will be all spanky. Yours will be like Lassie's grand's moped tyre. Does your grand ride a moped?
Always.
She's an amazing woman. Anyway, this robot, it's not very pretty.
We haven't even touched on their drive.
Oh, they've got these sort of
maglev train drive.
Maglev drive, which I actually, when I saw it on a clip, I was quite excited about.
Oh, yeah.
But I also knew that it probably would never work, because I know the BattleBots floor is coated in rubber paint.
Mm.
It is made of metal, but 3 sheets of 1/8 metal. So you're never going to get enough metal underneath you to do a proper maglev drive. And I think a lot of teams have come unstuck about that because they think that the floor is made.
Literally, in some cases, when their magnets wouldn't work.
Exactly, that's amazing. That's a
They have actually
I wish you
come
could see.
unstuck.
I wish you could see his eyes light up and his grin, which he just made himself a little joke. But there is a thing. Now, do you know what? Also, that's weird is now when you're a team and you're making a maglev drive.
Yeah.
And you know, do you know what doesn't really work? But what we'll do is make some wheels. So we'll say, now they may be wrong, but I would say, let's do a maglev drive. And Greg and Trey are going to go, oh my God, a maglev drive. They're so excited. We're definitely having that robot. It's going to be amazing. And then they turn up with wheels and go, oh, maglev doesn't work. Is it like the liquid metal again?
No, because that does work.
What, liquid metal?
Yeah.
Well, no, but the others, yeah, it does work. Because through...
It's just my lipos catch fire.
Do you know what?
This is a small issue I've
This
got
is
right
the
now.
thing for Road Rash. You come back with a maglev drive next year. You've got a whole year to make it. Only that. And then I'll be...
But then there'll be no robot if they spend the whole year making only that.
Well, no, they've got a bit of time and stuff. They can just add all that stuff to it.
Get an active weapon.
Get an active weapon.
And it'll be fine.
And that'll be amazing.
Cool. So I reckon that... Well, we don't know if they'll be back because we did try to get in touch with them about their future plans, but...
We couldn't get... we couldn't tie them down.
No, they're busy this weekend. They're building a robot.
Oh!
So...
Has it got a maglev drive?
No. They're building a little...
Insect weight. It's
insect weight robot.
Very
a
tiny.
kind of clone of... They were building a tiny helichopper.
That's rude, isn't it? Why don't they build a tiny one of their own robot?
Because helichopper's awesome.
It is awesome, but...
Why not? But all the best of them.
Oh, definitely.
And
All the best of them.
I got a very distinct impression that they love their robots, so I'm sure they'll try.
Good. Let's have them. I want to see you next year with a maglev drive and nothing else.
And actually, I got that impression from everyone, apart from Praying Mantis, who didn't really.
We didn't hear from Praying Mantis. Actually, we did a little bit.
We did. It was far too late for us to squeeze them into this.
So sorry, Praying Mantis. We only got your email last night, and we didn't have time to put you in properly. But we may do another show later on.
I was at the pub, so
yes, I can tell because this morning you're looking terrible.
I'm looking awful.
So let's move on. Do you know what? Next week is very exciting. Why is it exciting?
Well, next week there's not one, but two.
We're going to have
robot fighting shows.
We've got BattleBots on the 21st, and then we've got the first show of Robot Wars on the 24th.
And Greg told us a little tidbit about this BattleBots episode.
He's going to be. He said, wasn't it? Can we just hear from Greg?
We'll hear it from the horse's mouth.
Greg.
Yeah. No. Now, so next week, your countryman Warhead has a spectacular fight, and that's all I'm going to say. It's a spectacular
my inside scoop.
It's like, you know, and of course I'm trying to hype the show and make it everyone watch. And in the UK, it might be hard to watch. And by the way, well, you know, international deals are happening. I can't say anything yet, but we hope to be over in the UK very soon. So
it'd be great to get it at the same time.
Yeah, but the Warhead fight is amazing.
So a massive fight. Massive fight. The new blacksmith Minotaur.
Well, do you know what? That went massive. Let's hope this one does as well. We don't know what it is, but I know it's exciting.
And it's a popular robot, Warhead, so I'm sure that'll...
Warhead is one of my favourite robots. Not my most favourite, but I've said before, one of my favourite robots. It's probably... Do you know if it's going to have... I'm not sure if it's going to have the dinosaur head or the...
I think that's the disc.
It's got the disc.
I think we might have seen in the...
Oh, yeah, there's in one of the trailers, you can see it on the disc. So, it's with Complete Control and Warhead.
Didn't it get trounced, though, last year?
Yeah, it did.
With the disc?
It did.
Have they changed that?
It used to have a petrol engine. Then it's now got a brushless motor in it.
Oh, baby.
But it didn't really... Last year, it was a bit lackluster. It didn't really... But remember, it was fighting... the spinner killer wedges, which essentially are huge, like Stinger, I think, fought it, and Bite Force fought it. But they fought it both times with enormously thick armour plate wedges on the front, which are not active weapons. Well, you know, I'm not so sure I agree with that, because if you can win, you can win. But then remember, this is TV, so we don't want to be boring.
No, we want some active weapons.
We want some active weapons. So it's going to be exciting. Exciting? Exciting. I'm excited, and it is exciting. And we've got the opening round of Robot Wars. Now, we know who's in that.
We know who's in it, and there are some big names in there. Razor's in there.
We've got Behemoth. We've got Razor. We've got... who else is in it?
This is the problem when you try and do things off your head.
Well, anyway, do you know what?
Do
you know what? Behemoth and Razor, big hitters from the old school, so they're all going to come back.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a good one.
We're going to look now. I'm not here next week because I'm in France on holiday, but we're going to get a guest hosting for you.
Well, I hope we do. Otherwise,
you're going to be on your own.
I'm going to have to do different voices.
You've done that before. This is just,
I did that last week.
Remember, I'm a figmentation of your imagination. You know that, don't you?
All I have to do every now and then is just go, E-Tech Motors, Wranglebox.com.
Wranglebox.com. Come? Sorry about that. That was Freudian there. Leeds Sheath Metal Fabricators. Anyway, that's enough of that sort of heinous. Oh, I'll tell you what.
It's just
no, I was just going to slip one more in before we go. Okay? And that is NPC Robotics.
What about them?
They're an amazing supplier of items.
Great.
Excellent. Don't edit that.
When do I get the money for that?
Don't worry, I've got a little... They've sent us some stickers.
You're a liar. So, how about some questions?
Oh, we've got a question, haven't we?
Well, we're going to do another Kurt question.
Kurt, let's do Kurt's question.
Because he's a boss.
Yeah.
And also, we're going to finally address that darn numbers question.
Good. Okay.
Which should we do first?
Kurt's question.
So Kurt writes, in the history of the sport, what new or unique tech or weapons have you seen that actually effective rather than just a gimmick? And with the addition of air buddies and other new stuff, love his use of the term air buddies, how do you see the sport evolving, or at all, in the next decade?
Now, do you think Kurt sounds like that? Like a voiceover dude? Why did you change Kurt's voice like that?
That's how Kurt speaks.
Are you sure?
Mm.
Okay.
Do you think he's very curt when he speaks to you?
Is he quite clipped in his talking? Kurt, you always come across angry.
You're always so curt.
Stop it. Right.
Anyway.
No, actually, that's a really good question from Kurt.
An amazing question, Kurt.
Because do you know what I think? We're actually embroiled at the moment in a bit of an arms race.
Oh, yeah.
Between spinners, tip speed, and armour. So the faster the spinners go, the heavier they go. What can you really only do? Increase the thickness of your armour. Now, at some point, you're going to reach the fastest spinner. Greg's already said that they're going to limit it down.
Yeah.
And then you're going to reach the amount of weight you can realistically have because the robots have a weight. But then also, your armour can be only so thick.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be weight again is the issue, isn't it? You could end up with just an iron block in the middle, but that's not a robot. Now, unless our living metal experiments pay off, we're not going to get anywhere. So do you know what?
Yeah, you could move your armour around then.
So what I like about this is, Kurt, we are actually embroiled in an arms race at the moment, and the only thing that's going to change... Now, my research, I've done a lot of research into Second World War tanks, and they were in a similar... listen. I've done this for Kurt. Yeah. As they developed their tanks, the only thing they could do, the armour-piercing rounds got more piercy, so they could go through stuff. So what can you do? Thicken the armour. And in the end, some of those tanks had armour that was 110 mil thick. Like, so Americans, 4 inches, 5 inches thick. Yeah? But then it's so thick that then the engines can't move them along properly. So what do the modern tanks now have? They have a composite armour. They changed it, so the armour's a lot thinner, but it has a composite approach, so it has a different style. And that's what I believe will start to happen in robots, heavyweight robots and lighter weight ones. We're going to see composite armour coming up.
Getting back to the question, and interesting thoughts about what we're going to see from you, Gabe. What new or unique weapons have we seen that are actually effective? And I would say my favourite unique weapon from this year, complete control.
It's not a unique weapon though, and it's not new because complete control have had the same weapon.
It's unique this year.
No, it's not. Had the same weapon last year.
Well, it's unique among other robots. No, like it's not just a spinner or a drum.
No, okay. So, but Overhaul has the same style of weapon.
Okay.
So it's not unique.
But I like a grabber.
A grabber and a grappler. Lockjaw has a similar approach.
Well, yeah, I suppose so. There's not really any unique weapons, are there?
But so what we need a challenge for a unique weapon. And do you know what? Before this year, a sawbot was actually more of a unique weapon.
Yeah,
we talked about it. There's like hundreds of them now. It's when you have a kid and you make up its name. You go, that's an amazing name. It's unusual. There's no other kids with it. And you go to school and half the kids are called the same name.
Everyone is called Pumpernickel.
Exactly. You think I've done it, and it's everyone's called Pumpernickel. So, do you know what? I don't believe we've seen a unique weapon yet.
No.
I would like to see.
Air Buddies did something good.
But they're never going to. We know. They're not. They're rubbish. I'll tell you what, there's only one Air Buddy so far that I thought had a fairly decent weapon, a new weapon, that was unique, and that's the drill. I think a grab and a drill is going to be...
Imagine. Okay, you're right. Imagine if we had a combination of like a grappler...
with a drill.
With an Air Buddy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, if a grappler had a drill.
If a grappler had a drill. You grab them and drill a hole for them.
I'll be honest, complete control. If that had a drill instead of a flamethrower...
But the drill would have to be moved so it could go in and out.
I think it would push it off the grappler, wouldn't it?
Well, not if you gripped them tight enough.
But imagine if there was a drill going into...
I'll tell you what.
Going into...
Why don't we change it? Let's go... some of the armour. I can't drill through Hardox with a normal drill.
Okay.
I can't drill through it. It just wears it out. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it actually takes the top of the drill off. How about we actually change that have a grappler with a hammer drill attachment and like a chisel. So what you do is you just vibrate them really badly and hopefully vibrate something loose and rubber mount everything in yours. So if you're shock mounted all over you and you go, like, you know, the pneumatic road drill, just gives a massive pummeling. Oh, and he doesn't know what to do. He's vibrating. He's like, oi. That's probably, there you go. Kurt, I think I've come up with a new weapon.
Well, yeah, but in the history of the sport, what new or unique?
That's it. That's the history of the
When
sport.
was the first time we saw like a bar spin?
Oh, the first time we saw a bar spinner? Oh, a long time ago.
I know, but when? Because I think like when we saw Hypnodisc for the first time, I remember it was.
So Hypnodisc
that was a unique weapon.
That was a unique weapon that had stored energy in a disc, and that came in.
And it was so effective that they're still doing it.
Of course. Bar spinners are really a cycle on from the disc because you've got, with a bar, you save a lot of weight. You can still have it at the same circumference, but you can save a lot of weight. So a bar spinner is really the natural progression from a disc. And do you know what? I do love a disc.
Was Hypnodisc the first disc?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. I'm
Even
sure
out of the States?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
I wish it would come back.
Well, I think it might do. Mightn't it? But do you know the problem with Hypnodisc? It's made of aluminium. 10 mil aluminium.
But surely he'll rebuild it.
Well, if he can, yeah, would be great.
Hypnodisc 2.
Hypnodisc. By the way, Hypnodisc, if you come back, you need to be made of wear plate steel. Do not attempt to come back made of
Give us a call.
aluminum.
We'll sort you out with some wear plate steel.
Yeah. Oh, and I'll tell you what, Hypnodisc, exposed wheels.
And it's come on stuck.
Many times, yeah. Many times. So there's that one.
But I think the discs, basically, are my unique tech that became kind of standard.
Yeah.
What was the first drum?
I think it was probably... The drums were much bigger before, and there was a robot called Red Rum, I think. So Red Rum.
Yeah.
And I think that was the first one. It's an American one.
Okay.
American robot.
And
pretty handy.
So I think those are probably the big two that you wouldn't have thought. I mean, flippers, you can always kind of imagine that a flipper would be a good robot.
Yes.
Or like a hammer or...
Yeah.
Well, the hammer's getting a lot more refined lately. Which is cool to see.
Yeah.
Everything is just getting so much more...
Do you know what I think? I really want to challenge robot builders to let's make a new weapon. Let's make a brand new type of weapon that no one's seen before.
Should we do it?
Why don't you call in with some weapon ideas? Everyone. It doesn't matter. You don't have to be a bot builder. Call in. Not call in. Email.
Email in insidethebot@gmail.com with your bot ideas.
Yeah, and
we will go through them.
We'll go through them.
And we'll poo-poo them. No, we'll talk about all the...
Okay. Email in at insidethebot@gmail.com, or we're on Twitter.
Twitter, Facebook, you can find us. Always Inside the Bot.
Yeah, excellent.
Just search it. That's cool. So the numbers. Do you remember those emails we had a while ago?
Well, I got furious.
You got furious at the first one,
and then
the second one you resolved that you would find out,
and then
you didn't. You didn't.
No, we didn't.
You said, "Look, well, leave this to me,"
and then you did it for me.
And then I was talking to Greg,
and then you forgot.
And I forgot to ask him.
So we can't even hear from Greg.
You can't hear from Greg. Sorry.
But then you messaged him.
But then I messaged him afterwards.
And what did he
say? I said, "Look, a lot of people have been hassling me about the numbers. What's going on with the numbers, Greg?" And you know what? You know who does the numbers?
Go on then.
And actually, let's go back to when the first question was asked.
Yeah.
I said, I'm sure the BattleBots equivalent of Noel Sharkey sits down
and works out
the numbers.
And that's why we got furious, because there was people questioning that. And what was the answer?
And do you know what the answer is? Most of them were done by me, not me, but that was Greg's response.
You did
me, in brackets, Greg Munson.
Oh, got you.
With Peter Abrahamson.
An amazing long-time bot builder.
A long-time bot builder, the safety inspector, and a producer on the show.
So to be honest, those two combined...
With their powers combined...
are the equivalent of Professor Noel Sharkey.
If not slightly better.
You know where I stand on Professor Noel Sharkey.
I know.
You can't... No one... He is the pinnacle, except for one person who's better than Professor Noel Sharkey, and who's that?
Al Kendall.
No. No, come on. Where's your bot history? You learnt this recently. I'm testing you.
One man better than
Mark Thorpe.
Oh, you did tell me that.
the grandfather of BattleBots, the inventor of Robot Wars and all robot fighting.
Oh, no. Our creator.
Our creator. So, Mark Thorpe, Professor Noel Sharkey.
You know what? I failed us.
I'm furious.
I forgot Mark Thorpe.
You have.
And he's even in the interview.
He's even in the interview. Can we just hail Mark Thorpe? Greg, can you hail Mark Thorpe?
We all have to pay homage to Mark Thorpe, who is the guy who invented Robot Wars in San Francisco in 1994. He's the creator. He's the guy who we all must thank for this awesome sport that we love. And he's the man who created it. So thank you, Mark Thorpe.
It's amazing. So, do you know what? Those numbers are based on hard science, and I believe...
And he says in season 1, he acknowledges that they made a lot of mistakes because they didn't know how powerful some of the bots would be. But they did a lot better in season 2, and they updated them each round.
So, guys, if you look at the numbers between each round, you'll notice that they change. I noticed they changed before Greg told me, actually, Greg, so I've got an eagle eye there. They do change to match what the robot's been up to and how it's getting along. So I'm going to say that between Greg and Peter, the equivalent combined of Professional Sharky, those numbers are excellent. And
I'm so glad we finally know.
And I think we're going to put that to bed. So David, and I believe the other person who complained was Stefan.
Yep.
I hope that answers you.
Complain.
No, he complained about me.
I think you should question everything in life.
You should. But he complained about me.
And I think a lot of people thought, oh, the numbers are just there for kids. But actually,
they're not.
They're not. They're actually useful. I
I'm
wish
glad.
we could have more. Maybe this isn't feasible, but I wish we could have on BattleBots a lot more technical details on the robots, like on the Robot Wars website.
I would like to see. Yeah, well, there are lots of technical details, but I'd always like to see on all bot shows, and I'm not sure, it might just be me because I love Inside the Bot, but I like to see more technical strip downs of the robots for people to look into, and I think that could be a really good internet channel.
Yeah, or like they do a lot of after shows.
Do you know what? Yes, an after show of actually taking the bot apart and really looking at it.
But then there's only so much time.
Yeah.
On a TV schedule.
And there's also only so much time on Inside the Bot, which we're seriously creeping into.
Yeah, and I think we'll leave it there.
Okay. So,
when we do our Inside the Bot after show for Robot Wars and BattleBots.
We'll do it then. So, I'm Gabe.
And I've been Will Sedgwick.
And this has been
Inside the Bot.
See you next week.
Farewell. Thanks for listening.